Good day, everyone. So, continuation sa reporting ni Ma'am Rachel, which is Learning in Difficult Circumstances, Chapter 3 of Typology of Learners with Special Needs. So, by the way, I am Emelinda Tacdoro from BS Ed Mathematics 2B. So, what is learning in difficult circumstances? So, nahibaw natin na ganihan. So, let's move on to the objectives. The first one, understanding the context in which learners in difficult circumstances are situated. Discuss the special education needs of learners in establishing a learning environment that is responsive to learners' diversity. Then the last one, the importance of imparting knowledge and understanding of learners' diverse characteristics and experiences. Learning difficult circumstances. So there are 5. So gidiscuss na ganiya ang 1 and 2. So proceed ta sa 3, 4, and 5, which is product of broken family, stray children or children from impoverished family, and victims of abuse. So products of broken family. So a broken family is one that includes unhealthy or severe relationships within the family unit. They are often associated with divorce, but certainly can occur in an intact family where various members are in conflict with or estranged from each other. So, common causes of broken family ties are financial difficulties, inability to apologize, mental health problems, disrespecting boundaries, different beliefs, politics, or values, then napod tay physical, sexual, or emotional abuse. So, the effects of a broken family. Um, a broken family can negatively affect all domains of a child's development. So, the effects of a broken family on a child's development depend on numerous factors, including the age of the child at the time of parent separation, and on the personality and family relationships. Although infants and young children may experience few negative development effects, older children and teenagers may experience some problems in their social, emotional, and educational functioning. So there are lots of effects due sa broken families sa students or sa learner, but mag-focus lang ta sa educational nga part. So, slowed academic development is another common way that separation of the parents affects children. The emotional stress of a divorce alone can be enough to stunt a child's academic progress. But the lifestyle changes and instability of a broken family can contribute to poor educational outcomes. This poor academic progress can stem from a number of factors, including instability in the home environment, inadequate financial resources, and inconsistent routines. So, the importance of imparting knowledge to this broken family. Education help learners to become better citizens, and remember that for better and for worse, the family relationships play a central role in shaping individuals' well-being across the life course. So, proceed as children or child from impoverished family. So there are two groups of street children. So the first group is children of the street, which refers to children who are homeless, and streets and urban areas are their source of livelihood where they sleep and live. And the second group is the children on the street who work and live on the streets in the daytime but return home at night where they sleep, although some of them sleep occasionally on the streets. Um, Street children face difficulties in providing themselves with good sources of food, clean drinking water, healthcare services, toilets, and bath facilities, and also in inadequate shelter. They also suffer from absence of parental protection and security due to the missing connection with their families. In addition, there is a lack of any kind of moral and emotional support. So naay upat ka part lang atong gikuha nga need as a child. But sadly, sa mga street children, dili kayo lalim sa ilang nga part because the shelter nga part, street children usually do not have a permanent place to sleep. Many of them sleep in the streets or on pavements near shops and malls, while others prefer sleeping at the bus terminals, railways platforms, under bridges, and by cinemas. Meanwhile, some girls prefer spending their nights with security guards due to being vulnerable and subject to abuse if they spend their nights on the street. So they try to find a suitable place to sleep according to their surrounding circumstances. In income man pod nga part, as street children man pod, di man pod sila mupalit og basic needs like food or drinking water. So street children work as car parking boys, car washes, guards for the cars, shoe shiners, and baggage loaders. But some other older na po siya nga girls exchange sex for money. Some of them rely on selling goods and begging in traffic for making an income. Others are involved in illegal work like drug dealing in order to secure their daily basic needs. So at the young age, they manage to kanang kuan maningkamot sila nga mo survive. In parts sa infrastructure amenities, some street children use seawater for washing, while others use public bathrooms. Sometimes they use leaking water from public pipes or use public water kiosks to fulfill their needs for drinking water. However, they are harassed either by people or by police. Some use public and railways toilets, while others use pavements, parks, and the seaside. So sa part pod sa healthcare, ay dyan makita nga unsa kalisod ang agian as a street children. So as for treatment, it depends on how much money the street children can afford when one of them becomes sick. If they have money, they go to the chemist to buy medicines, especially if they have some knowledge about the medicines. But if they do not have money, they wait until their bodies heal naturally. So na pod siya barriers jud sa education para sa mga street children. Street children face unique barriers to accessing education that many other children don't have. Street children are often unable to enroll in formal education due to lack of legal identification, permanent address, or guardian, whilst others who have spent years on the streets are not permitted back in with younger students and struggle to catch up with those na same nilag age. Those who are able naman po to enroll are often faced with marginalization, stigmatization, and even discrimination sa ila pa dyan peers and even teachers, affecting their well-being and performance in class. So, we need nga makakuan jud og kanang maka-access og education ang street children. Why? Because allowing street children to be left behind from efforts improving access to education will only perpetuate their cycle of poverty and the countless human rights violations they face on the street every day. Providing them with access to the education can not only provide safe spaces and security whilst they are on the street, but also opportunities to move away from the streets and go on to lead happy and have a healthy adult lives. And then the last one nga part is the victims of abuse. So victims of abuse, a person being abused physically, verbally, sexually, or in another harmful manner. He or she can also be called a victim, though survivor is the preferred term. So there are lots of kinds of types of abuse, but nag-focus lang tag tulo ka buok: the physical, the emotional, and the sexual abuse. So the first one, physical abuse. Non-accidental accidental physical injury to a child. Examples include slapping, shaking, hitting, kicking, burning, pushing, smoothing, restraining, physical or chemical, and then torture. A few forms of abuse may be attributed to lack of knowledge on the part of the parent. For instance, neurologically damage can result from shaking a child. Further, a child who appears fearful or who startles easily may be the victim of abuse. Then, sa part po sa emotional maltreatment, the constant belittling and rejecting of a child, the absence of a positive emotional atmosphere. Examples includes verbal abuse, inadequate or inappropriate parenting and neglect. Any of these can destroy a child's self-esteem and weaken self-concept. The failure to thrive syndrome is an example of the results of emotional maltreatment. So, sa sexual abuse pod nga part, sexual exploitation, molestation, or prostitution of a child. So, child sexual abuse is a sexual act imposed on a child who lacks the emotional, maturational, and cognitive development to understand what is happening and to protect him or herself. Sexual abuse may be overt and covert. For example, overt abuse include unwanted touching of any part of the body such as hugs or kisses presented as innocent signs of affection. So apektado pod ang emotional effects ang emotional rather sa learners. So some of them magpili lang pud tag tulo. So commonly mo natong makita or mo ni ang kasagaran to makita nga effects sa usa ka niagi og abuse: self-esteem, sense of belonging, social skills. So self-esteem: abused children have little self-esteem. Valuing differences will enable children to begin to see themselves as having something to contribute that others appreciate. With each successful completion of a classroom task, the child's sense of competency will be fostered. So, in the part of sense of belonging pod, abused children think they did something wrong and that they are bad. Because they have kept a secret from everyone, they assume there is a reason for them to be isolated from others. So sa social skills pod nga part, because abused children have not learned to listen to their inner selves, they may focus on pleasing and meeting the needs of others while neglecting their own needs. Having been introduced to the adult world through an abusive relationship, the child may have learned inappropriate behavior and language. The child may feel unworthy to interact on an equal basis with others and may fear rejection. So, education jud. Need jud education ang kada students or learners or every child need to have education. Why? Because it helps learners to become better citizens and show the difference between good and bad. So that's all. Thank you.